Every time a sister tells me I just can't marry someone shorter than me, I always ask one question: why? And the silence that follows says more than any height difference ever could. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Hiba.
And I'm Zaid,
You're listening to Diary of a Matchmaker.
a podcast that will take you into our world as matchmakers.
We'll share our experiences and offer advice for the single Muslim.
So let's dive in. Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to another episode.
Assalamu alaikum, Hiba and Zaid here.
Yes, that's us. So when you saw my matrimonial profile and you were going through, and I'm sure all girls, they go through the picture, they go through the details, profession, things like that. Did you pay attention to my height? In fact, was my height even on my profile?
I can't remember. I can't remember, honestly, if it was there, if I looked at it, I can't remember.
Okay. But I'm sure you wanted somebody, even then or even now, like God forbid we start over again, start searching, you want someone that you can look up to, right? Somebody that you can, that relieves that psychological factor, right? Like a leader by naturally is somebody that is tall.
No.
Usually, psychologically speaking.
No, I completely disagree.
Okay. In most cases in history, I think leaders were pretty tall.
How would you know? How would we know?
What do you mean, how would we know?
There wasn't any photography, any videography, nothing.
Okay.
This is how they're portrayed.
Mm-hmm.
But is it true? We don't know.
Okay. But I think psychologically speaking, a woman does want somebody that they can look up to. Somebody that is tall, strong,
So
handsome.
you see, you're confusing
right?
two things. Women do want somebody who they can look up to.
Yes, and that gets naturally associated with leadership.
So, yes.
Yes.
Here, up till here, we're agreeing.
Okay.
But when you start connecting leadership and what else did you say? Looking up to someone. When you associate that with height, that's where we disagree. So just like some background for this topic. So alhamdulillah, we've been doing this work for more than 4 years now, and we've talked to a lot of people.
Hundreds
of people.
I'd say we're pretty close to the thousands now.
Yeah, maybe we crossed it, maybe not, I don't know. But we've spoken to a lot of girls in different age groups. And this is something that always keeps coming up, height.
Right.
Yeah. And it frustrates me personally because I see a lot of good guys who don't even get a chance just because of their height, who get judged based on something that's completely out of their control. And on the other hand, you see girls who reach the age of like late 30s, mid 40s, even we saw mid 40s, who still refuse to consider a guy who's really good, successful, funny, great personality, good values, but he's shorter than them. Like they don't even give it a second to think about it. So you prefer to grow old alone and miss out on the opportunity of building a family and having a companion just because of height?
See, I think
Convince me.
I think you're overlooking something, which is the physical attraction. I feel that height is what guys feel like about when it comes to weight. Now, granted, weight is something that can be controlled in most cases, unless it's a genetic factor. But in most cases, yes, weight can be controlled. But it feels like the same thing that you can't feel attracted to. Like with most guys generally, they don't feel an attraction to somebody who's overweight. With girls, I feel that they just don't feel an attraction to somebody that is shorter than them.
I disagree. I do agree that
maybe you're
attraction,
an exception.
No. I do agree that attraction plays a big role. And of course, you can't marry someone you're not attracted to, right? But I don't see a correlation between height and attraction. I mean, you're sitting down at dinner, for dinner. You're laying down on the couch. You're watching a movie. You're looking at their face. You're not looking at their height. Like, what difference when you're sitting down for dinner does this have to do with anything?
It's not about that. It's about when you're going out in public.
You see? It's about what people think, what people say.
Yeah, I think that plays a part. Like, yes, the whole Instagram effect and what people think, that can be a bit detrimental. But at the same time, like, I would think if I was to marry or consider a girl that was overweight, in the back of my mind, I would be thinking, how would we look in pictures? How would we look in public? Like me holding the hand of somebody that weighs more than me. It would just look...
First,
I know I sound very shallow.
No. Two things. First of all, weight is linked to health.
Mm-hmm.
You want somebody who has a healthy weight,
Mm-hmm.
who's going to be healthy, right?
Of course.
Weight, also managing your weight and being fit, that shows a great deal of discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And respecting the amana that Allah gave you, which is our health, our body.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. And weight also affects how the person looks, like their features, their face.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the difference between a chubby person and after they lose weight, how they look. Completely different, right? Also in terms of intimacy and all of that. But what does height has to do with anything? It has nothing to do with health. You know what? Yesterday I asked you a question and you started answering, and then I said, don't answer. I want to hear your fresh take on this when we record.
Okay.
So I'll ask you again. Which do you think is more acceptable? A girl rejecting a man because he's shorter than her, or rejecting a man because he's in a wheelchair?
Socially acceptable, I would say rejecting a man who is in a wheelchair.
Why?
Okay, maybe not socially acceptable, but would make more sense.
Okay.
And also understanding what would result in more shame. Because you would definitely I think you would get blasted and shamed if you rejected somebody in a wheelchair, right?
That's a good point. Which is more shameful. Like
Yes.
as terrible, as horrible as it sounds, just saying that. But I'm just trying to go to the extreme for the extreme.
Yeah, so which is more shameful? I would say, rejecting somebody in a wheelchair.
Okay, because why?
I don't know, because they're in a circumstance that is beyond their control.
Exactly.
Right.
You just hammered on the point I was trying to make. It's completely out of your control. But for some reason, we feel a sense of pity for a man who's in a wheelchair. But a man who's born shorter, it's much easier to reject him. It's more socially acceptable.
But there's two separate things. What is more shameful and what makes more sense?
Okay, so which one would make more sense?
Rejecting somebody in a wheelchair makes more sense because that requires more responsibility, that comes with the burden of taking care of them, intimacy, all of those factors come into play. So naturally you're going to be thinking about, long-term, how can you build a life with this person 20, 30 years from now? So it makes more sense to reject somebody that's in a wheelchair.
Okay, I guess. But I feel that us as a community, and unfortunately I feel this is more common in the Muslim community, we judge people before giving them a chance. So, like for example, if we say that, no, I can't marry a man who's shorter than me, I can't marry a man who's in a wheelchair, we're inadvertently saying that a shorter man should only marry a woman who's his height or shorter. A man in a wheelchair should only be considered by a woman in a wheelchair or even worse conditions. So what does this say about our community? What about the person, the personality, the deen, the akhlaq, the success, what about everything
I don't know.
else?
Some things matter more to girls than others. Like I remember one girl, the super successful one, neurologist, she rejected, and like before we could even move ahead with the presentation of the match, once she heard the height, she said no. And I remember her words, she said, and she even apologized for it. She's like, I'm sorry, that's just one thing I can't get over.
Yeah, but when you ask them why, they can't articulate.
And that proves my point.
Okay, so why do you think women say no to a shorter man?
Why do I think? I think girls deep down need somebody that, like I said in the beginning, they need somebody that they can look up to. And so height automatically gets associated with protection. Height gets associated with this need to look socially compatible. So they want to look pretty with their heels and they want to look good when they go out, so that, the husband is the protector hovering over them, and so they feel like there's this shroud of protection.
What is it? Do we live in the jungle or what?
I'm just thinking outside of the box, and maybe they just don't feel feminine enough next to a partner. I don't know. That's something that you can elaborate more on.
Okay, I feel these reasons you mentioned, they are just cover up.
For what?
For something deeper. It height becomes a shortcut for emotional security and emotional availability. So women deep down might think that a taller guy is more emotionally available. Also, wanting a taller guy could hide things that women will not admit out loud. Something like, I don't know, I'm afraid I don't want to be judged by my family. I don't want to hear comments from an auntie. I don't want to look like I settled.
Yeah, or look awkward in photos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But is it true? Is it true that if you marry a shorter guy, this means you settled? This means you're a loser?
I think that's a bit of an extreme way of thinking. Yeah,
I think it is there. Subconsciously, it is there.
Yeah, or how they look in Instagram photos, Facebook pictures, wedding pictures.
So these are the superficial reasons, but they hide behind them. I don't think a mature woman who's serious about marriage would really reject a guy just because she's worried about how we're going to look on Instagram. No, it might, like she might say something like this, but under it, beneath it, there are deeper reasons.
Instagram is just another way of illustrating the problem. So yeah, you're right. It does mask the underlying fears that girls have. Fear of judgment, fear of being shamed by family and friends, but also another underlying fear I feel is that you're not meeting certain cultural expectations, right?
Yeah.
That culturally speaking, especially in Desi culture, the guy has to be taller than you, right? Is it the same thing in Arab culture? Is this more
I think
universal?
this is a universal. It's not just
universal
Muslim,
thing, right?
but specifically for our culture, for us Muslims, like we girls are brought up to like be shy, be modest, be, I don't know, quiet and whatever, and feminine and petite and whatever. This, like, subconsciously makes you think that a good husband should be the exact opposite of this. He should be loud, he should be tall, he should be strong, he should be muscular.
Right. So let's list out the cultural expectations. The guy has to be taller than you, he has to be older than you.
Older, exactly.
You know, that's another episode we can dedicate to age, ageism.
Yeah.
The whole ageism factor.
You got it. Let us know, guys, in the comments if you'd like us to discuss this topic.
But yeah, masking cultural expectations as well as judgment. Those are the two big things that I feel that girls are saying, or the two reasons girls are saying no because of height.
Yeah, and in our culture as well, Arabs, I don't know if in all like Arab communities or not, but usually it's okay if the guy is darker.
Really?
Yes, like a guy, a fair skinned guy marrying a darker skinned girl, like looks very weird. Like, why did he could have done better? But
yeah, I can see that in terms of culture.
But if the guy is darker and the woman is fair skin, that's completely fine. Even like in the beauty criteria for Arabs, a muscular, like handsome guy is a little bit asmarani, like a little bit dark. This is a masculine guy, but a fair skinned guy with a blonde hair and stuff. Like he looks handsome, but he's like a cutie, more like a cutie, not a husband material.
So the problem now that we're seeing with this is that this way of thinking is resulting in people shrinking their pool of selection. So now, and I remember we did an entire like YouTube video about this with the graph, and we'd talk about this in our workshop, where I basically have this kind of pie looking thing. And girls and even guys start picking and choosing and saying, okay, I want someone of a certain profession. I want someone of a certain location. I want someone of a certain ethnicity. And slowly but surely, that circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller until that pool becomes so small that the selection of people that you have is very limited.
It's only you and your brother and that.
Yeah. And so height is kind of doing the same thing. You're just shrinking that pool even more and more to the point where it's just like the whole point is that, and we preached about this almost in every episode. The point is that you should be coming back to your core values. That as a mature person looking to get married, you understand what your core values are and understanding or allowing your core values to be your guiding compass in finding a spouse.
And also, it's worth mentioning that pool we started with in the beginning, the big circle, that's already a minority. We are a minority. So we're not starting with the entire population of Canada or America or the UK or Germany.
Yeah, Canada alone, I believe Muslim population is 5%.
Less than 5%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And out of those 5%, there are almost like half are men, half are women. You got the children, you got the elderly, you got the married men, you got the men who don't want to be married. So like women end up competing for the same 10-15% of men who check certain height, certain education level.
So when you add the height factor, like I said, you shrink the pool even more and you're making the search more difficult for yourself.
And those men, the tall men, they understand their value. I don't know how to say quotation marks in audio.
So they can pick and choose.
They usually delay marriage. They usually ghost more. They're usually less serious. They have way more options.
Well, we don't want to pass a judgment on all tall men, but
no,
that is, I can see that happening.
They recognize that they have something that most men don't have.
Yeah.
So they have more options.
Yeah, and if you combine that with a successful career and a healthy weight, and they go to the gym, they definitely got options then.
So you're not the only one chasing this guy, sister.
Yeah. What we want for you guys, deep down, is for you to make your search as easy as possible while staying within the parameters of Islam. And the Prophet ﷺ is, in his sunnah, there's so many examples of this that we've, explained in previous episodes, that whenever he would speak to his companions about marriage, he would find ways to make it easier for them. Whether they were companions in extreme luxury and they were rich, or the poorest of the poor, he would always try to make the journey of ease for them.
SubhanAllah,
and we do the opposite.
We did. Just mentioning this reminds me of a story from the Sunnah. So there's a Sahabi, Ibn Mas'ud. He was known to be a short man and petite as well. He had a fragile body. And the Sahaba, one time he was with the Sahaba and he had to climb a tree or something. And the Sahaba made fun of him. The wind revealed his leg. And they saw how thin it was, and Sahaba made fun of him jokingly. So the Prophet ﷺ got mad, and he's like, "This leg that you're joking, that you're making fun of, is worth, I can't remember what he said, but is worth so much in the eyes of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala."
Yeah, I believe he was known for his understanding of the Quran.
The Quran,
right?
His recitation.
Yeah.
Subhanallah. Dear sisters, a taller man doesn't mean a man with better qiwama. A taller man doesn't mean a better leader. He could be a great leader, this tall guy, and the shorter guy can also be a great leader. Height has nothing to do with it. So we just need to dismantle this whatever psychological thing we have in our minds about the correlation between the height and the quality of man. Not even in 10 years, in 3 years, 2 years of marriage, his height isn't going to make a difference to you.
Yeah.
What's going to make a difference is how he treats you.
Definitely.
Is he respectful? Is he kind? Does he keep his promises? Is he a good provider? Is he a good father? Does he get along well with your family?
Yeah.
That's what's going to matter.
I think the important thing to do is to have a shift in the way you approach a potential spouse, in the way you understand what will make a compatible spouse. And one question that you should ask yourself is, instead of how does he look in pictures, how will he look in social media or in marriage pictures, does he look tall next to me? Instead, ask yourself, can I build a life with him?
Yes.
Does he carry the core values that I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Is he going to be respectful and understanding of the decisions? Like, for example, if you're a career-oriented woman, or if you want to homeschool your children, will he be respectful of those decisions?
Yeah.
So those are the important things to be looking for, and it doesn't matter whether he's short or tall. Those things do not correlate with core values.
You know what? It just occurred to me. The reason I might feel stronger about this than you is because as a person with disability who did not choose to be born with it, I faced my fair share of judgment. And I was passed and rejected and ignored based on something that I was born with. I'm not saying being short is a disability or anything, but it's something that's completely out of your control. So it bothers me. Like, for example, we have this great guy on our database. He's such a great guy. He's super successful. He's super handsome, mashallah.
Much older.
The age group he's in, we have a lot of girls who are looking for a guy in this age group.
Mm-hmm.
He's single, never married. He's very fit and like he's everything you want in a man. But he's on the shorter side. I think he's like 5'2".
Yeah.
And no girl so far has given him a chance. And these girls we're talking about, like they crossed the average marriage age.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they're still not considering him. And it bothers me. Like, why?
Yeah, the part that does bother me a little bit is not at least giving him a chance. Like, I could understand if you saw the whole package, right? You learned about his values, his expectations, his deal breakers, all of those things, and then you took into account his height, and then you said no. Okay.
Yes.
But then some girls, yeah, like you said, just don't get past the height.
Don't. And also, like, he's so funny. But
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It does bother me. I put myself in the shoes of the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And like he really wants to get married, and he's fine if the woman like
he's very flexible.
He's fine if the woman past the age where she can have children. He's in his late 40s, but no one's giving him a chance.
If you're overwhelmed and burdened and just don't know where to seek help, let us help you. We can be your personal matchmakers. Visit us at halalmatch.ca and book a free call with us. So needless to say, the community plays a significant role in helping single Muslims get married. The masjid, the community, aunties and uncles, it's like the saying goes, it takes a village, right? And that's not just raising children, but that's also finding compatible spouses.
Right.
So number one, stop using height as some sort of superficial indicator of a good spouse.
Yeah.
For a man, yes, he needs to be the protector. He needs to be the financial provider. He needs to have certain masculine traits, but that has nothing to do with height.
Mm-hmm.
So there are plenty of men that are shorter that have the qualities that the Prophet ﷺ talks about in many of his hadiths that qualify them to be a good match. Secondly, raise boys with confidence. If they end up being short, that's okay. But don't raise them in a way that they have to compensate for that.
Exactly, yeah. If your daughter shows interest in a guy who's shorter, don't start like talking her out of it and just, what will people say? What will aunties say? I think you can find someone better. Like, are you sure? Like, don't do that.
We have to do away with these cultural and superficial expectations for marriage.
They have nothing to do with the deal.
Marriage is becoming harder and harder. I mean, finding a spouse is becoming harder and harder.
Yeah.
And this kind of mentality just makes it even harder.
Yeah, encourage her. On the contrary.
Yeah.
Don't even look at don't mention the height. It's not worth mentioning.
Right. Girls, we want to hear from you mainly, more so than the guys. Does height matter to you? Is it a strong factor when considering a potential spouse?
And why?
And why? Remember, we don't judge, we don't shame, we don't do any of those things. We just simply want to learn. We want to hear from you guys. So let us know why height matters. And, the more you guys give us feedback, the more we can give back to you guys. So feel free to comment. And also, guys, have you been rejected because of your height? Are you on the shorter side? Let us know. What was that experience like? And until next time.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.